my channel. I'm Anne and welcome to Book Battle episode number 6, I think. So I've literally just finished Book Battle, the previous Book Battle, but we are jumping straight into the new one. It is Tuesday evening. It is very, very late, so I am not going to go and start stacking books, etc, etc. I am just going to be so I'm not going to do all of the rearranging on my shelves. I'm just going to be doing my random number generator right now to see how many books I have to read out of the stacks, and then probably on the weekend I will restack my shelves and do that because I just don't have time and I don't have the energy to do that right now. So we are going to do a random number generator right now to tell me how many books I need to read out of the stacks, so I have a book to read for this evening. So, generating anywhere from 3 to 5. We're going to be reading 4 books out of the stacks. So, we will go to the stacks and we will do that now. We have 64 books in the stacks, so let's do a number generator and see what book we are going to be reading. 62, so I don't have to count too many. So we are over here in the last pile. Ignore that. We have 64, 63, 62. Ooh, interesting. So we have Dark Lover by J.R. Ward. So this is a quintessential paranormal romance story that I've heard a lot of good things about, and one that I've been very, very excited to read. So all I know about this is vampires. So in the shadows of the night in Caldwell, New York, there's a deadly turf war going on between vampires and their slayers. There also exists a secret band of brothers like no other. 6 vampire warriors, defenders of the race. Among them, none relishes killing their enemies more than Wrath, the leader of the Black Dagger Brotherhood. The only purebred vampire left on the planet, Wrath has a score to settle with the slayers who murdered his parents centuries ago. But when one of his most trusted fighters is killed, orphaning a half-breed daughter unaware of her heritage or her fate, Wrath must usher the beautiful female into the world of the undead. Beth Randall is helpless against a dangerously sexy man who comes to her at night with shadows in his eyes. His tales of brotherhood and blood frighten her, but his touch ignites a dawning hunger that threatens to consume them both. This is a very long series from what I remember. There's like a lot of books in here, and I'm very, very intrigued. I do have a couple other ones on my shelf, so if I do enjoy this, it's definitely something that I will have a great time with. And yeah, I've heard great things and I'm very, very excited, so I will update you when we've got some updates and when I've started reading this, and then we will get into the normal shenanigans that is a book battle with rearranging my shelves, trying to get as many books on my shelves without my shelves breaking, all that kind of good stuff. But it is Tuesday. I'm tired already. It's been a long day. It's been a long week and it's only Tuesday, but I'm going to go. I'm going to get some reading done and I'll talk to you when I've got an update. It's the weekend, which means we need to organize my bookshelves so I know how many books I'm reading for this vlog. So what I've done is I've organized all of the books that I need to get on my shelves that aren't part of my June wrap up. So I need to grab those ones as well, because there's a few that I'm keeping, which sucks, but there's one I'm unsure about, so I'm going to keep that out for now. But I need to add all of these books onto my shelf. So let's do some organizing and hopefully not pull too many off my shelves, but I have a feeling I'm going to have to. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 to get on my shelves. So I'm going to have a look and see what I can do go from there. So I'm gonna go do that now. So first things first, I'm kind of looking down here at these shelves, and these are a lot of the books that I actually want to read within 2025 that I really want to get to. So I think it might be strategic if I choose some of these to pull them off my shelf, read them, and get them off my 2025 TBR as well. So let's come a little bit closer here and we can discuss. So the Night Circus I've been avoiding for a long time. Laure I'm really excited to read. Lady Hotspur, not 100% sure, but I've heard that I don't know if I need to read this before or if I can read this without reading the other one, The Queens of Innislear. So I might have to do some research on that first. These are staying absolutely on my shelf. We might slip this one off and read this one in the next book battle because, you know, keeping in trend of that one. So yeah, we've got this one that I might pull off. This one I've been meaning to read for a long time. This one. Yeah, so let's see what I can pull off and then rearrange back on the shelf. I've already read this, so that can go back there. That could go there. Perfect. So we have this one. I have a feeling I'm not gonna get much more onto the shelf, but we shall see. And I'm actively trying not to I've got these, and I'm currently reading book 1, but I don't even know what this one is, what like number this is. Yeah, I don't know. This is it doesn't tell me. So I think this is book 7, and this is book book 8. So that's kind of annoying because I would want to read the rest of the series before that. Anyway. Oh, this is one that I've been wanting to read for years. And the same with this one. So maybe let's see what I can do here. See if I can do some rejigging, hopefully, fingers crossed, without pulling a million off. I still have this whole series to get on my shelf, so maybe I chuck these up there. 1, 2, oh no. 3, 4, perfect. I can go back in there, which is one of my stuff. I've got so many books on the shelf. Perfect. I can go back in there, which is one of my stuff. I've got so many books off the shelf. Oh no. I'm in trouble. So I don't know what to do with these because these are book 8, 7 and 8 of a series that I've only started book 1 for. So, do I put them in the stacks and every time I pull one I have to read the next book in the series? Like, I don't know what to do here. This might be a question for my partner. I've got Night Circus, I've got these, I've got these, this. I feel like I should pick the ones that have been on my shelf for the longest time. I don't know what I'm doing. This is so hard. I've got these stacks of books now that I don't really have a spot for, which is crazy. So I've got a couple of spaces over there, so we might see what I can fit over there. But I feel like I should put a few of these over there and try and get them over there, I guess. Let's go and see. As you can see here, there is a smidgen of room. So I might have to be really strategic here and just see what I can get on here. See, this is the one that I'm questioning the most because I don't know if I have to read book one before I can read this one. So I definitely think I want to get that on there just to be safe, so I don't have to read 2 books. This one has been on my TBR for ages and I've just DNF'd to Mark Lawrence, so I'm very wary about this one, but I think this might be a good idea to actually read in this vlog to see if I actually like Mark Lawrence, because there is another Mark Lawrence that I have somewhere. The Prince of Thorns, I think, his other series that I definitely want to check out. This one I've had on my TBR for a long time and I've really wanted to read it, but this is on my 2025 TBR, so I might check this one on here because again this is one that I'm wary of. This is such a hard decision. Like, I don't know what I'm doing, guys. I'm on the struggle bus. Okay, so I've gotten 3 on there and I'm left with 4. I might just have to bite the bullet and read these as well. I'm reading another 8 for this vlog, which isn't ideal, but oh, I just got another one on there. Okay, perfect. I got one just up there if you can see it, if it wants to focus, right up there. Jade Fire Gold. And I'm also like, do I try and read some of my shorter books and get them off? So this is 336 pages and I've just pulled it off and I'm pretty sure it's YA, so it might go a little bit quicker than some of these other ones. I don't know what to do. This is also another YA. But do I do that? And then slide this in here. I think I have to put this back on the shelf because this is a thick boy and I'm very scared to actually read this because I did just DNF the other one. But I've heard really good things about this series in general, so I'm hoping that I'd like this one more, but I just don't want to risk it right now because I have a weekend away next weekend, so I think I need to get that one. Oh, it doesn't fit. Okay, never mind, it doesn't fit. So I'm gonna put this one back on the shelf, I think. I think that's all the shuffling that I think I'm going to get to do. So we've got the Graces, Red Sister, and the Night Circus, as well as the 4 books that I need to read for out of the stacks. I have a couple more books to add to the stacks, so I will do that as well. Ooh, it looks like there might be space over there. Okay, so yeah, we've got these 3 and then the other 4. So we need to read 7 books in this vlog, unless I DNF some, but we shall see. Okay, if the sound quality has changed, I apologize because I think my mic's dead, so I have to charge it. But I spoke to the rule master for these 2 books. So this is book 7 and 8, like I already discussed, and I said I wasn't sure what I was going to do about these and pulling them off my shelf because I can't actually read these as book 7 and 8. I know you're probably going to tell me it's an interconnected standalone, but I don't care. I read things in order. So the compromise that we have come to is that I can read 2 books out of the stacks, and what I've done is I've picked out The Crimson Moth by Kristen Cicerelli, and I've also picked out House of Cloaks and Daggers by Lauren Little. Both of these I do have on my Kindle, so I can read them a little bit more quickly, hopefully on my Kindle. So in total, I have to read these 2 in replacement for pulling these off my shelf and not having anywhere to put them, but not reading them. I also have to read these 3 as well. So Red Sister, The Night Circus, and The Graces. And then also 4 more books out of the stacks. So we gotta get the grind on because I have a lot to read. So yeah, got a lot to read, got a lot to do, but I hopefully will enjoy some of these, fingers crossed. And yeah, I'll come to you with an update when I've got one. But yeah, I'm gonna go, I'm gonna get some reading done, and I'll talk to you when I've got an update. Hello. So I came to you yesterday with rearranging my shelves and the stack of books that I'm going to need to read for this vlog challenge. But I didn't come and update you on my reading of the Dark Lover, book 1 in the Black Hood Brother series, whatever it's called. Black Dagger Brotherhood series. I read this pretty much all day yesterday and I had a really good time with it. I really enjoyed it. I didn't come and update you when I was halfway through it just because this week has been crazy and I've just been really trying to spend a lot more time with my partner, so I didn't want to be coming in here and updating you as I read. But I read most of it. I was about 160 pages into this when I picked it up yesterday, and then I read the majority of it yesterday. I really enjoyed this. This is definitely a early 2010s, early 2000s, so this is published in 2005, so there is definitely some commentary. There's some things that wouldn't stick now with this series, but I really loved it. This is very unique with the way this world works. So in this we have vampires, but vampires actually generally don't feed from humans because feeding from humans doesn't actually sustain them and fulfill them. They actually have to feed from the opposite sex of a vampire. So we have this male here, he gets a mate and they have to feed from that female, and the same likewise. But in this one, our main character Beth is a human. She believes she's human. She's a little bit stuck in life, and a certain person turns up and kind of throws her life into an upheaval. Wrath has been given this job to protect her because she is actually a half vampire and she doesn't know, and she is about to go through the change because she's hit the age of 25. So we watch them as they have this connection, and there is a lot going on with these lesser beings trying to take out the vampires, they are all basically vampire hunters. And I really enjoyed it. It was great. It's definitely insta-lovey. I would say, like, the romance happens very, very quickly. They like the first night that they meet, they immediately sleep together, and then within a couple of days they are telling each other that they love each other. But I did really enjoy it. I do love my vampire stories, so I definitely really did enjoy it. So then what I decided to pick up, I only got a couple of pages in before I went to bed, but is The Crimson Moth. So I pulled this out of the stacks in replacement of books 7 and 8 of the Black Dagger Brotherhood series, because I pulled them off my shelf because I'm not going to read them until I get to those books. But this is a YA or new adult, I'm not 100% sure yet, but we're following our main character Rune, and she is a witch, but she is keeping that hidden, and she is also the Crimson Moth. So she goes and actually pulls witches out from under the nose of the people who are taking them and putting them to death. So on the night Rune's life changed forever, blood ran in the streets. Now, in the aftermath of a devastating revolution, witches have been diminished from powerful rulers to outcasts ruthlessly hunted due to their waning magic, and Rune must hide what she is. Spending her days pretending to be nothing more than a vapid young socialite, Rune spends her nights as the Crimson Moth, a witch vigilante who rescues her kind from being purged. When a rescue goes wrong, Rune decides to throw the witch hunters off her scent by courting the handsome Gideon Sharp. Except Gideon is a notorious and unforgiving witch hunter loyal to the revolution, and falling for him would be deadly. So this gives me Serpent and Dove vibes, but I've heard really, really great things about this, so I'm very, very excited. I'm only like a couple of pages in, and I'm already enjoying it. So I am buddy reading this with my friend Elle, who is my friend on Instagram. I'll link her channel down below if you want to check it out. But yeah, we're buddy reading this because we did just DNF our buddy read of The Book That Wouldn't Burn by Mark Lawrence. I think with that one I might pick it up at another point. It's just the way that I'm reading at the moment, I have to have fast-paced stories, and that one was very, very slow. So we're going to be buddy reading this as well, which is perfect because it was in my stacks to read. So hopefully I will fly through this one pretty quickly. It is only 404 pages and it should go pretty quickly. I do have it on my Kindle as well, so I'll definitely be able to read it a little bit more when I'm at work and things like that, which would be great. So we've got this one to go. Hopefully I can get a good chunk of it done today, and we shall see, and I'll update you when we've got an update, because that's what we do around here. Hello. It has been a hot minute since I updated you guys, but we are in serious trouble. It is the 15th of June and I still haven't finished book 2 in this vlog. A lot of things have been going on, but I haven't been in the reading mood, which is unfortunate, but I did think to come and update you before I actually finished The Crimson Moth by Kristen Cicerelli. So I am 70% of the way into this, and I'm definitely going to be finishing it tonight, fingers crossed. But this is about our main character Rune, and she is the Crimson Moth, who is a witch who is protecting other witches from going to their death and execution. And in this world there is these bunch of blood guards who chase down witches to try and get rid of them from this world. And in this one we're following Rune, and she is trying to get information from the blood guard, this very particular one, who she believes will know the answers to help save a witch. And she has to kind of court him to get the information, but we are watching them as they're slowly falling in love with one another. I'm really enjoying this, and I'm having a great time with it. I love Rune as a main character. The world building is great. I would definitely say that this is not as adult as you would expect. I think it is definitely leaning more YA or going toward that little bit new adult age range, but I'm having a great time with it. It is easily devourable. The chapters are quite short, which is great, and we have a dual perspective, so we're following Rune as she is trying to do all this espionage to get the information that she needs to get the witch out to safety, and then we're also watching Gideon as he is struggling with trying to get close to Rune because he believes she is the Crimson Moth, and try to get the information and kind of figuring out if she is a witch or not, but also struggling with believing that his brother is in love with Rune, and kind of that dynamic as well. So I'm really enjoying it, and I'm hopefully going to get to it, finish it tonight. So I thought I'd come update you because it's been a while, and my mental health hasn't been great this month, and my reading has definitely suffered, but I have been away for a whole weekend with friends, and I feel definitely a lot more rejuvenated and excited to read. So I'm gonna carry on reading, and I'll talk to you when I've got another update on finishing this and then picking up my next book. Alrighty, my loves, we have a lot of reading updates. I have been on the grind with my reading since I got home from the weekend away. So the last time I updated you, I was talking about reading Crimson Moth and being 70% of the way in. I have now finished this book. I love this so much. It was so good. I honestly think it's going to be a 5-star read for me. I loved it, and I'm immediately going to be picking up The Rebel Witch once I have time. But I love this. I loved Rune. I loved Rune, and I loved Gideon. I loved the tension between them. I loved the drama. I loved the enemies to lovers dynamic between them, not knowing whether they should hate each other, knowing that they are both playing a game against one another, but then also slowly falling in love. This is definitely a new adult sort of story, I would say. There is one smut scene in here pretty much, and it was kind of fade to black, which was quite interesting. But I have a feeling that Rebel Witch might get a little bit more smutty. The ending of this was insane, and I cannot believe the way it ended. Like, I am shocked. So I definitely need to be picking up The Rebel Witch soon. So then, once I picked up once I finished that one, I picked up The Graces by Laure Eve. And this is about a young girl who, this is a YA novel, kind of a witchy occult story, where this new girl has turned up at school and everyone is obsessed with these Graces. They all believe that they are witches and she wants to be involved. So she kind of acts very cool, calm, collected, not freaking out over them at all, and they kind of take her under her wing and strange things start to happen. I didn't love this one as much as I thought I was going to, so this is definitely going to be going in my unhaul pile. I think it's going to be a 3-star read for me. Honestly, nothing generally happened until the last couple of chapters. Things got very strange. You are kind of left not sure what's happening. Our main character is a very unreliable narrator. You can't trust a word that she's saying because you know that she's hiding something, and she is also not telling you the full truth about what's going on in this scenario. It's definitely interesting. The way it ended, it could be left as a standalone, but it is there is a sequel that I don't think I'm going to be picking up, but it was fine. It was very quick to read. I read it both physically, and I also had the ebook on Libby, so I read that while I was at work trying to crank through this stuff. But I didn't really have any thoughts while reading it. That's why I didn't come and update you, and I was also trying to crank through them. But after finishing that one, I've also picked up A House of Cloak and Daggers, and I'm about 25% of the way through by Lauren Little. This is the Gift War Book 1, and this is an indie book, and I have it signed. I got it at Chapters TM Books in Auckland, which was amazing. And this is about a girl called Olivie. She first meets the man of her dreams. He's being tortured in them, literally. Obsessed with saving him from the monsters armed with iron weapons, she craves sleep for 3 long months, if only for the chance to see him again. The day one of those monsters hunts her in the real world, Aura meets Ren, a cocky high fae man who saves her life and explains that human women like her are being hunted and killed. To protect those she loves most, including herself, Aura makes a bargain with Ren and finds himself fleeing into Fairy to seek protection under the High King. Instead of salvation, Aura only finds secrets, dark, twisted truths about herself, her family, and the High King of Fairy, and even the man from her dreams. He's real, but can she save him before it's too late? And when she finds out who he is, will she still want to? Honestly, I had no idea what this was about going in. I did pre-order it before this one was released on Kindle, and I just didn't get to it, but I've heard great, amazing things about this from one of my friends, Erin, at Just a Little Bit Bookish on Instagram. I think that's her username. Anyways, I'll link it down below if not. But I've heard amazing things about this from her, and I'm really, really enjoying it. So I am on page 96. This is flying by. I started it yesterday and I'm already 25% of the way through. I was reading it on Kindle, but also reading it physically while I was at home, and I'm liking it. She is a sassy baddie who doesn't care what she says or how she thinks, and she will just say what she needs to say. And I like Ren. I like the dynamic between them already, but I don't know if it's going to be her and him or if it's going to be this man in her dreams. So I'm very, very intrigued to see where this goes. And book 2 is releasing very, very soon. So if I really, really love this one, which I already do, I will definitely be picking up a book 2 very soon. But this is an indie author and I'm very, very excited to be getting to this one. Yeah, I'm really liking the world so far. It's very interesting. Immediately it got very dark. And yeah, I'm very intrigued. But we're also here to pick the next couple of books out of these stacks because I need to figure out what the hell I'm doing. It is the 18th of June and I still have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Wait. I have quite a few books that I need to read out of the stack still. So we are going to do that now once I figure out what the hell is happening because I'm very confused right now. Because I'm looking around me and I've got books everywhere and I have no idea what's happening. So let me go figure that out first and then I'll come back with my random number generator and we'll pick out the next couple of books from the stacks. Okay. Make sure this is on. Yeah. So I re-watched my previous clips just to make sure that I was saying the right things. So I have to read 4 more books out of the stacks on top of everything that I'm reading at the moment. So what we're going to do is we're going to random number generate 4 numbers and then we're going to go to the stacks and pull those 4 books out and hopefully, fingers crossed, that I can actually find audiobooks for these because I haven't been able to find audiobooks for any of these books, which is generally how I grind through a lot of books because I've got 8 hours at work. I can listen to an audiobook all day at work. So we're going to random number generate 4 numbers. Then we're going to go to the stacks and pick out those 4 books. So let's do that. Number generator. I am honestly so scared about this because no, that's not what I normally use. Ryan's already been talking about the punishments that I'm going to have to deal with and I'm not ready. So let me just go check how many books I have in the stacks and then we will be back to do this. We got 60 in the stacks. So I'm going to put 60 in here. I know you can't see that, but let's see if we can zoom you in somewhat. And you can see. So we got 37. Let me write that down. Got 37 is the first one. And we're going to do 59. I'm going to generate 28. And we're going to go down to 58. Generate 24. And then we've got 57. 26. Okay. So very similar numbers. Ooh. So let's go to the stacks and pull out our numbers. 37, 28, 24, and 26. So all in the same sort of range. So let's go have a look. Alright. We are at these stacks. Where's my piece of paper? So the first one that we have to pick is 37. So oof, okay. We have Kiss Me Like Yesterday by Alicia Marie. So I picked this one up at Ages of Pages and I am quite scared about this one because I've heard not great things about this author's other book. So we shall see. But this is a dark romance. He loved her yet He loved her, yet had to hurt her in order to save her in June. Sounds interesting. It's supposedly a 4 out of 5 on the heat meter. And I'm intrigued. I mean, just because one person didn't like one particular book from this author, I might like it. So we shall see. So let's get to the next book. Where did my paper go? Oh my gosh. We have number 28. So 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28. Ooh. So we've got Slaying the Vampire Conqueror by Carissa Broadbent. This is a Crowns of Nyxia novel, but I don't know when I'm actually supposed to read this. Oh, it's broken. Okay. Strange. But this is a gift from my friend Brie. So a massive thank you to Brie. But I don't actually know when I'm supposed to read this. So I might have to do a little bit of research to find out when I'm supposed to read this within the Crowns of Nyxia series. Because I've only read book 1 and the 6 Scorched Roses, which is a standalone that I'm supposed to read in between. So I don't actually know when I'm supposed to read this one. So I'll get back to you with that one. But I don't want to read the back and actually accidentally spoil myself. So I might have to come back and pick another book. But that's okay. So now the next number is 24. So I'm pretty sure this is like... Okay, so we got The Doll Factory by Elizabeth McNeil. I've know nothing about this. I've had this on my shelf for a long time. So this is actually historical, which I'm not 100% sure if I like historical anymore, but an intoxicating story about a young woman who aspires to be an artist and the man whose obsession may destroy her world forever. Sounds interesting, but again, I'm not the biggest historical fiction reader. So we shall see. And we are picking the last book, which is number 26. So it's 22 here. 23, 24, 25, 26. Masters of Death. That wasn't supposed to happen. Well, I've been pulling out of that stack all day. So, Masters of Death by Olivie Blake. I've heard really good things about this. This is going to be my first Olivie Blake, which I'm very excited about. But there's a game that the Immortals play. There's only one room. Don't lose. So I've heard really good things about this, but I've also heard that Olivie Blake tries to do too many things within this novel. So I'm very intrigued to see where I stand with this. But it sounds chaotic. It sounds like a found family fun time, and I'm very excited. So these are the 4 books that have been picked out of the stacks that I also need to read on top of finishing House of Cloak and Daggers, The Night Circus, and Red Sister. So I need to read 7 more books, guys, and I am hopefully going to get a lot read this weekend. But I will come back to you with what I have figured out for Slaying the Vampire Conqueror, because I have no idea when I'm supposed to read that. So I might have to come back and choose another book and kind of keep that out of the stacks for now. But I am going to go. I'm going to do some work because it is a work from home day, and I'll update you when I've got some reading updates. Hopefully not when I've finished a book and then started another book, but hopefully as I continue to read House of Cloak and Daggers. But I shall be back. Alright, my loves. I have it on good authority that I shouldn't be reading Slaying the Vampire Conqueror by Carissa Broadbent until I've finished the first duet in the series. And I haven't done that. I haven't read Ashes, and there's no way I'm going to be getting to that in the anytime soon. So I'm going to be putting this one off the TBR for now for this vlog, and I'm going to be picking up another one. So instead of doing a random number generator, I decided to pick out Poison Study by Maria V. Schneider. This is book 1 in a very popular series way back when. And I picked this out because I could get it on audio. I went through a bunch of these books and none of them were available on audio. So I thought it would be a good idea to try and find one that I do have on audio that I can read and fly through really, really quickly. I don't know much about this one, but in the territory of Eaxia, control is maintained through the code of behaviour forbidding the practice of magic, but danger lurks in mysterious places. In prison for murder, Yelena Zaltana's punishment is death unless she accepts the position of the commander of Ixia's food taster and risks assassination from poison daily. In a world where magic equals death and freedom is for the lucky few, the battle for Yena's life has just begun. So I've heard really good things about this and it is available on audio, so I definitely should be getting to this one very, very soon. So I thought I'd come and update you with that because one of my friends did let me know that I can't read this until I've read Ashes. So I'm gonna go back to work and we'll go from there. Goodbye. It's been, lighting's weird. I'm right under the light. Okay, it has been a hot minute since I last updated you. I think it was last weekend. I don't remember. But we have lots of reading updates. So I have finished A House of Cloaks and Daggers by Lauren Little. I'm going to be giving this a 4-star read. Although I really, really enjoyed this, I did kind of guess the twist at the end, or the like shocking reveal, and I think it was supposed to be a shock, but I kind of guessed it from halfway through the book. But I did really, really enjoy this. This is dark, it is gritty, it is a lot of fun. There is a lot that happens within here and I'm very, very intrigued to continue with this series, and I'll definitely be picking up a book 2 when it is released, which is very, very soon. I think it's in about 2 weeks, which is exciting, and I'm very, very happy to have this book on my shelf, a physical copy, and it is signed, which is great. So I did really, really enjoy this one. Then I picked up The Night Circus by Erin Morgernstern. I am currently a little bit further than that. Where am I? I'm at about page 164. This is a fantasy where we're following 2 characters who are set against each other in this challenge that they don't really know what they're involved with. They have to kind of do these magical tricks and kind of outdo each other. All on the basis of this night circus, which comes at night. It only opens at night and closes at dawn, and it's just very whimsical and magical. I did start this on audio quite a while ago and I didn't love it, so I'm glad that I put that audio down and picked it up physically instead, because I am enjoying it. So I'm about here and it's very interesting, but I don't think it is going to be a favourite of mine. So this might be one that I don't add back to my shelves, but for what it is, this is a great one. I have heard amazing things about this one, but I'm not loving it as much, but I am finding that once I'm reading it, it does move a little bit quicker. It is more of a historical setting, which I always do enjoy, with a little bit of a fantasy element thrown in there, which is very, very interesting. And then I also picked up Poison Study by Maria V. Schneider as an audio, and I flew through a lot of this today. I read about 233 pages today, and this is a YA fantasy where we're following a girl who has murdered someone, and she was a prisoner for a long, long time, and right before she is about to be hanged for this murder, she is offered the position of becoming the poison tester for the commander. And we are following her as she is learning all of these new things, kind of getting close with the person who hired her for this position, and also trying to deal with people trying to kill her because of the murder that she committed, but also learning about why she did the things that she did. So it's very, very interesting, and I'm really enjoying it so far, and I definitely think that I will be continuing the series, but I don't think I need to have this one on my shelf, and it is a secondhand edition. So if I do end up loving the series, I might buy newer editions, but it is a fun time. It is definitely YA. There is maybe a romance blossoming, but I don't know. And I only have this much left, which is great. So hopefully I can just fly through this on the weekend and finish this. But we are under a crunch because it is the 24th of July and I still have to finish these two on top of these 4, while also buddy reading with my friends, because I agreed to do buddy read before this challenge became insane. So unless I can find more audiobooks for these, then I am screwed. But we will hopefully complete this, because Ryan is getting ready for the failure. He's coming up with all these fun ideas and I'm not excited. So I'm gonna go and I'm going to carry on reading, and hopefully this weekend I can read a lot and come up and give you more updates as we go, because I need to get crunching on this because I'm in danger, very much in danger. So I'm gonna go and I'm going to get back to reading. Saturday, so I am being consistent and updating this vlog, but last night I finished Poison Study by Maria V. Schneider. I really enjoyed this book, so I finished it off by reading the end because I only had about 100 and something pages left. So instead of picking up the audiobook, I thought that I would read it physically, and I'm glad that I did. I really enjoyed this book. If you like, I liked that our main character is making a really hard choice of survival. She knows that she has killed someone and she is being punished for it, and she has been offered this position to become the commander's poison taster, food taster. So she is the one who's trained in poison, and she has to then taste his food. So if anyone is trying to assassinate him through poison, she will taste it before he does, and she will possibly die. It's definitely interesting. She makes some really hard decisions, but we also have this slow burn romance that simmers throughout, and we have a lot of secrets that are being unveiled, and it's just a really good time, and I had a really good time with it. I'm going to be giving this a 4-star. It's not my favorite thing in the world. It is very YA. This was published in 2005, and there is one thing in here that I was actually quite shocked. I don't want to talk about it because it is a bit of a spoiler, but I'm quite shocked that it is in a book of the time of 2005. It was very interesting and it caught me by surprise, but also in a really nice way. So I really enjoyed that aspect of the story. I'll be definitely probably continuing with this series, but I won't be buying any more books in this series unless I will buy them new and I love the rest of the series. So yeah, I'll be continuing the series by audio. So I'll keep you updated with other vlogs and stuff as such, or my wrap-ups. But yeah, I had a really good time with this and I'm glad that I read it, but it is not going back on my shelf. And I just wanted to give you a quick update on The Night Circus by Erin Morgernstern. I'm now 250 pages in, so I've got about 140 pages left, and the aim is to finish this tonight. I'm still really enjoying it. It is definitely it is more slow going than I thought it was. It is definitely purple prose, very whimsical, very purple prosy, and very lyrical descriptive writing. So it is taking me a little bit longer to read, but I am enjoying our main characters, Celia and, oh my god, what's his name? Can't remember his name. Marco. I'm really enjoying their story. This is multiple timelines. We're following every chapter, we're following different characters as well as in different times of the Night Circus. So at the start we begin the story in, I don't know, 1873, and this is before the start of the Night Circus, and we kind of watch the build up to the Night Circus. But then we're also in like 1905 and then 1897 and all those kind of things. So each chapter is a different time within the timeline of the Night Circus. So I'm very intrigued to see where this goes, and I'll definitely be finishing this today. And then I'm not sure where I'm gonna go with the rest of the books that I need to read for this vlog because we are running out of time. So I did do a quick search on Libby and I did find Masses of Death and the Doll Factory on audio, so I'm hoping that I might be able to listen to these next week during work. But then I also have this chunky boy to read. And then I also have this this short one. So maybe I will pick up this one next once I finish the night circus, and then start on this one and see how far I can get in. But I'll come and update you guys when I've got an update. This has quite big writing, so maybe it will fly through. But I'm also like in the middle of like 2 buddy reads with some of my friends, which isn't helping. And I also need to read another book for an author that I'm going to be interviewing next week for the podcast. So there's a lot happening at the moment, and I'm not sure what I'm doing because I'm very overwhelmed. But I'm going to get some reading done, get some work done, and hopefully I can come back very, very soon today and tell you that I finished this book. That's the goal. All right, I'm gonna go and I'll update you when I've got another. Happy Sunday. So it is Sunday afternoon, and I thought I would come and update you because we have some reading updates, which is very, very exciting. So last night I finished the night circus. I finished this quite late last night, but I had a really good time with it. I'm going to be giving this a 4-star, but again, it's one that I don't think I'm going to keep on my shelf because I didn't absolutely love it. Like, it was a really good story and I really, really enjoyed the progress of reading it, but it's not a favorite book of all time, so this is going to be in my on-hold pile as well, so I don't need to try and get it on my shelf at the end of the month, which is good. So yeah, I really, really enjoyed this one. I liked how atmospheric it was. I liked that we were basically told a story, and the ending kind of told us the beginning of the story. So we're basically getting told a story about these 2 main characters and everyone around them, and how the world is how they are influencing the world and the circus for this challenge, and kind of dealing with falling in love with one another, and also trying to deal with this challenge. It was really good. It was really interesting. It was really magical. It was very flowery and very descriptive. So if you're not someone who likes that flowery over descriptive writing, I would suggest maybe not reading this. But I did really, really enjoy it, and I had a good time with it, and I'm very happy to say that I've finally gotten this off my shelf and off my TBR. So then, once I've caught up on my buddy read for today, I picked up Kiss Me Like Yesterday by Alicia Marie. So this is a motorcycle romance, and I got this at Ages of Pages when I met Alicia Marie, and it is signed to me, which is great. And I'm really, really enjoying it so far. I don't know how many pages I am, but I'm about this far in. It doesn't actually have page numbers on this, but in this one we're following our main character, Kai, or Opie is his nickname, and he has become part of this motorcycle club after he has been struggling for a year with an opioid addiction, and he kind of joins this motorcycle club, and it's now been 2 years since he broke up with the girl of his dreams, broke her heart, and left his grandmother. But now he has to return back to his hometown and kind of fight for the love of these people again, because something is going on that he needs to come home for. So we're watching him as we are getting thrown back into the past, watching them as they slowly fall in love and kind of start dating, and then also watching the aftermath of him leaving and kind of why he left. He is a Native American, so we're dealing with a lot of racism and being pushed out of the community because he is Native American, and kind of understanding the reasons why he left this town. I'm really enjoying it so far. I didn't think I was going to like it as much as I am, but it's very easy to get into, and it's very, very short. It's about 200 pages, so I'll definitely be finishing this tonight. And then I'm going to be picking up Red Sister, because this is going to be my last physical book, I think, that I'm going to be reading, with these 2 being audiobooks. So I might complete this challenge, even though it's been an absolute struggle, but we are almost to the end of this challenge, which is very, very exciting. So I'm going to go finish this, and then I will probably start this. This one I don't know too much about, but I know that it is a fantasy, and it is written by Mark Lawrence. So in this one we're following killer nuns, and that's all I really know about it. I recently DNF'd a Mark Lawrence, his new recent series, The Book That Wouldn't Burn, that one. I DNF'd that one, I think mainly because I wasn't in the mindset to read that. It was very slow, and I think because I was in such a rush to read it that I just didn't feel like it, so I did DNF it, but I might come back to it at some point. But I'm very excited to read this one. It's been on my shelf for a long time, and I've heard really, really great things about it, so I'm very excited to pick this one up. It's not until you're broken that you find your sharpest edge, so I'm very intrigued to get into this one. And yeah, so I'll be picking up this one once I finish this one. So we've got lots of updates, and I'm very happy to say that I have finished another book for this vlog, which is successful. So I'm going to go and I'm going to keep reading because I am on the grind this weekend. Hello, happy Monday. We have some reading updates, which is exciting. I am this far into, which is 166 pages into Masters of Death by Olivie Blake. So this is one that I talked about that I wasn't 100% sure what was going on with this, but I know that there is a lot of paranormal creatures and stuff like that. So in this one we're following our main character Viola. She is a real estate agent but also a vampire, and one of the houses that she is trying to sell is haunted by a ghost, and she is trying to get rid of this ghost so she can sell the house. And we are coming up with a lot of issues because the nephew of the god of death is being pulled along, but then we're also finding out that death is missing. So it's definitely interesting. I'm listening to it on audio. It has made me laugh quite a few times, and it's definitely set in it's an urban setting, which is very, very interesting and something that I wasn't it's set in an urban setting, which I always find is quite fun, especially with paranormal beings and they're trying to blend in, etc, etc. I'm really liking the writing. It's very interesting. We've got many different character perspectives in here, which I'm finding quite cool, and kind of the timelines weave seamlessly between them, and it's like 1 hour ago and stuff like that, and we're getting someone else's point of view that is coming into the story. So it's definitely interesting. I don't know how much I'm actually going to love it. It is fun, but I don't know if it's going to be something that I need to keep on my shelves, but we shall see. And I have also started read Sister by Mark Lawrence. I only got a little bit into it. I'm only 16 pages in, but I started it a little bit last night and then I read some at the gym today. And this is basically where we're following a group of assassin nuns. So we have just met our main character Nona Gray, and she was just about to be hung for a crime that she committed, and the one of the nuns have come in and swooped her up, and now we're just kind of going into that journey. It's definitely very interesting, and I'm very intrigued to see where this goes. I'm already enjoying the writing style a lot more than the book that wouldn't burn, so we are in for a treat. So I'm definitely going to try and read as much of this as I can tonight, because this is the one that kind of is going to hold me back because I don't have an audio for it. Whereas I'm going to finish this tomorrow and then start this tomorrow and get halfway through. So I'll definitely get these two done, but this is the one that might catch me. But we have a couple more days in the month, so fingers crossed, and wish me luck. But I'm going to go and I'm going to start reading now because I got some reading to do. We have one full day before this challenge ends, and I have a lot of reading updates. So I finished Masters of Death by Olivie Blake yesterday on audio, and I'm going to be giving this a 4-star read. This was a funny, silly, goofy time that I wasn't expecting to enjoy, but it made me laugh out loud. It was a very interesting story, and I liked the different takes that Olivie had on these different paranormal creatures, such as the vampire, etc, etc. It was very interesting, and I definitely will be checking out more from Olivie Blake, but I just don't think that this needs to go back on my shelf. I don't think I'm going to reread this, and if I do, it'll probably be on audio again, so I don't think that I need to keep this. But I also read and finished The Doll Factory by Elizabeth McNeil, and I didn't really like this one. I was going to stop listening to it about 50% of the way through today and then come update you and talk about it a little bit, but honestly I just flew through it and had kind of just kept reading it just to get it over and done with because I didn't really like it. So in this one we're following our main character, who is, it's set in like Victorian London, and she aspires to be a painter, and she kind of makes a decision that she is going to model for this guy who will pay her to be a model, which kind of disgraces her and her family, while also she's learning how to paint. And this other guy who is a, what do you call it, taxidermist, he becomes obsessed with her, and we're following him as he is spiraling. And honestly, I just didn't really love this one. It was fine to get through. I just don't think that it's ever something that I'm ever going to think about ever again, and it's not something that I'm ever going to keep on my shelves. I found some of the descriptions quite grotesque, and it made me grimace, because even just mundane, ordinary things were being described in such a grotesque and disgusting way, which was very, very strange for me. So unfortunately, I think I'm going to be giving this a 2-star, but that's fine. It's another one down. And that means I've finished my 2 audiobooks, which means that only leaves me with Red Sister by Mark Lawrence. And I am currently on page 206. And I'm actually really, really enjoying this book, which is so exciting. I'm reading it on Libby while I'm out and about, so when I'm on the bike out the gym, I'm reading it to try and fly through it. Like, I'm quite a bit of the way in, but I have quite a bit of a way to go, so fingers crossed that I can finish this before tomorrow. So, like, before the end of tomorrow, basically. So yeah, I'm really, really enjoying this. I'm loving the direction it's going, and it's kind of reminding me of Nevernight in that, by J. Kristoff, in that fun assassin school sort of way. So I'm very, very intrigued to see where this goes. But yes, I'm going to go and I'm going to carry on reading, and then I'll come up and update you tomorrow and let you know if I have failed or completed this challenge, because I'm scared. But we are cutting this to a fine line. So I'm gonna go. I'm gonna get in the shower, get all cozy, and read for the rest of the night. It is the 1st of August. And the question is, did I finish Red Sister yesterday? And I did, surprisingly. I was very, very worried that I wasn't going to finish this challenge, but I did complete Red Sister yesterday, and I think the universe was telling me that it was time for me to finish this challenge, and that I needed to finish this challenge because I put my back out yesterday at work. So I ended up taking half a day at work and coming home and just lying on the floor, flat as a plank, trying to fucking read this book. And I completed it with 30 minutes to spare before I had to go to bed, which is exciting. I really, really, really enjoyed this one. I had a feeling I was going to enjoy this one, which is why it's been sitting on my shelf for such a long time. And I'm surprised that I DNF'd one of Mark Lawrence's books and then picked up this one and had a 4-star read for it. So that is really, really surprising and really great. I did really, really enjoy this one, so I'm definitely going to be picking up Grey Sister. I think I have it as a Kindle book on my Kindle, so I will be reading it then. But yeah, I really, really enjoyed this one. I loved how dark and gritty it was. It definitely reminded me of Nevernight, so if you like Nevernight by J. Kristoff, I definitely think that you should check this one out. It kind of gives the same vibes where she's at this like assassin school basically, and there's a lot of things going on in the background. So I really, really enjoyed this, and that means that I have successfully completed this monthly book battle challenge, and I'm not going to get punished by my partner, which is exciting. So let's talk about all the books that I read in this vlog, because there was a lot and I'm kind of terrified to pick up this pile. But we completed all of these books, which is crazy. Absolutely crazy. So the first book that I read for this vlog was The Dark Lover, book 1 in the Black Dagger Brotherhood novel. I gave this a 4-star read, really, really enjoyed it. It is a quintessential vampire book that everyone has been talking about for years, and I really, really enjoyed it. Then we had The Crimson Moth by Kristen Cicerelli. I love this one. This is a 5-star read for me. I also buddy read this with one of my great friends, Elle. Elle reads on Instagram, so make sure you go check her out. But I had a great time with this one and I really enjoyed it, so I'm happy that I read this one. Then we had... I'm trying to remember the order that I read these. The Graces by Laure Eve. I didn't really love this one. This was fine. It was a YA witchy story. Definitely very slow, very, like, nothing really happened in here, but I finished it and I read it. Then I have House of Cloak and Daggers by Loren. This was a 4-star read for me. I did guess kind of the big reveal at the end, but I still had a great time. It is dark, it is gritty, it is fae, and I'm very excited to pick up book number 2. Then we had Poison Study by Maria V. Schneider. I really enjoyed this one. This is another backlist YA that everyone has known and loved for many years. And I did really enjoy this. So definitely will be continuing with this series, but I just don't think that I need to keep this edition on my shelf because it is an old library edition and it is moldy and it is not great. So if I do end up loving the series, I might end up buying new books of this series and putting them on my shelf. Then I read The Night Circus by Erin Morgernstern. This is another one that I've heard so many amazing things about and I have had it on my shelf for a long time. I did enjoy this. It is very whimsical, very magical. There's a lot that goes on within here and you have to pay a lot of attention. It is slow moving. There's a lot of POVs and a lot of timeline changes, but I did enjoy it, but I don't think it is one that I'm going to keep on my shelf. If I reread it, I'll probably listen to the audio or get it on ebook or whatever, but I just don't think I'm ever actually going to reread it, so we've got that one. Then I have Kiss Me Like Yesterday by Alicia Marie. I don't remember if I actually came and updated you at the end of this book, but I enjoyed this. This was a fun time. It is very short and quick read. We're following our 2 main characters it's a second chance romance, so one of the guys, the male main character ran away because of certain issues, and it's 2 years later and he's now coming back to kind of deal with the aftermath of how he left everyone and broke the heart of the girl that he loved and kind of watching their romance blossom. It was a quick read. It was fine. I read it in the afternoon and yeah, I don't know what I'm going to do about this one because it is signed to me, but it was a fine time. So the next one that I picked up was Masses of Death by Olivie. This is a fun rompy time with a lot of POVs, a lot of timeline changes again, and I listened to this on audio, but I think I would have probably preferred if I read it physically, but I was on a time crunch and I had to listen to it on audio because there was no way I was reading this physically. But this is definitely a fun one if you're looking for just a fun, quick, quirky time. I like how Olivie played with the different paranormal creatures, made them her own, and yeah, it was definitely a fun time, but it's not one that I think I'm going to keep on my shelf, which is fine. Then we have The Doll Factory. I gave you no updates as I read this because I just wanted to fly through it because I wasn't enjoying it. This is about a girl who has kind of put disgrace on herself and her family because she has decided that she's going to be a model for an artist. This is based in the Victorian England. And then there's also this taxidermist who becomes obsessed with her and believes that they should be together, and we're kind of watching that unravel. I didn't love it as much as I thought I was going to, which is unfortunate. So this is definitely not going to be a keep. And then we finished with Red Sister, which I've already talked about. So we read a lot and I was very scared that I wasn't going to beat this challenge, but we did it. So fingers crossed the next book battle vlog is going to be a little bit easier on me. It is the 1st of August, so that means I have to finish this one, do the outro, and then immediately jump into the next one so I know what I'm reading for this month. But I hope you liked this video. I hope that there was quite a few different books in here that might have interested you. Let me know in the comments below if you've read any of these books, if you've enjoyed them. Make sure to give this video a like and subscribe if you want to see more content from me. So yeah, thanks guys. Bye.